The House approved a bill earlier today to slow Syrian and Iraqi refugee flow to the U.S. A new poll shows a majority of Americans want it to be shut down completely. A Republican congresswoman who voted for the bill is with me now, Congresswoman Barbara Comstock. Congresswoman, thank you so much for the time. President Obama has threatened to veto the bill. A majority of Americans are for it. Do you have enough votes to override?
Well, we did vote on a veto-proof majority today, so it was a bipartisan vote. And this is a very common sense piece of legislation. It's going to raise the level of scrutiny so that our FBI director, head of the Homeland Security, and the director of national intelligence will be signing off on this, certifying to Congress that anyone who's coming from this arena is going to be, that they have done a very careful and thorough vetting. And we know that's difficult because obviously with Syria, they don't have a nation state that we can go back there and confirm with. So this certainly is going to change the dynamic there. But it's about protecting the American people, protecting our national security. And we can still help the refugees by having safe zones in the Middle East, areas where we can protect the refugees there, and making sure we get our coalition and our allies to do everything we can to help the refugees there.
So, Congresswoman, some GOP candidates have suggested as part of the entry process a grilling, I'm sure there's a more diplomatic way to say it, but about someone's religious beliefs. Would you change your stance if that were part of the package?
Well, what we did here is, in terms of in terms of refugees generally, people who are religiously persecuted, and in the Mideast that has largely been Christians who have been murdered and killed, but if there's religious persecution going on, we have, a standard under current law that says people who are religiously persecuted, people who are being slaughtered in the Mideast, that certainly opens up an opportunity for refugee status. But because we know that ISIS wants to infiltrate these particular refugees, we want to have them thoroughly screened over there in the Mideast, do everything we can protect the people who are truly refugees, and make sure that ISIS doesn't make good on their threats to try and infiltrate these people. And that's to the safety of those people who are refugees, as well as to the safety and the national security of the American people.
It makes sense. Thank you so much, Congresswoman.
Okay, and I will say again, we did have a veto-proof majority here in the vote. So I tell people, encourage them, call your senators and have them support this bipartisan common sense legislation, and I do hope the president will support it.
I think, as you say, it is common sense, and to your point, there is support from both sides of the aisle. Congresswoman Barbara Comstock, thank you very much. Glad to have you here.